Hello and welcome. In this tutorial today, I'm going to show you how to make these glittered eyes with the little designs in it. You'll see a star, flower, and butterfly on these 30mm size eyes for your crochet amigurumis. We will be using fingernail polish so that it will adhere nicely. And see the glittery effect? So come join me and let's make some glittered eyes with little decorations in it together. So the materials that we're going to need are these amigurumi eyes that I purchased on AliExpress. These are 30mm. They are about 1 1/8 inches in size. We're going to be using fingernail polish. This one's by Sally Hansen, Extreme Wear, and the color is Rockstar Pink 569. We're going to be using a clear rapid dry top coat. That'll be used to hold the little sequins down. Here I have some stars, some butterflies, and some flowers, and I got these at Michael's. You can find them in a strip like this that has about 10 of them, and it was only $4. We will be using a pair of tweezers. These I got at the beauty supply store, I think for $1.50. And we will use a file to help file down the imperfections on the sides of the eyes. So to begin, let's find the imperfection, which is right here. Now, even though this will be under the safety disc, we also want to make sure that this is filed down smooth. So take your file and file it down as such. And then rub your finger over it to make sure it's smooth. Now, once we do put the yarn and the cap on here, this really won't be seen. So what I like to do is I like to take the pieces that I'm going to use out of the package and set it up alongside my work area. Now these all have little slits here, so here you can pull them out. So we're going to be using 2 stars per eye. Now in this particular package they have the little tiny center pieces from the star. Sometimes I can find those and pull them out. Those also add a nice accent to this design. In fact, here's 2 right here. Here's 1 and 2. They are just so tiny to try and grab it by your hand, so it's best to have the tweezers to help you. For the butterfly, we're going to use 1 per eye. So here's 1. Now I use tape to close these back up so that they don't fall into my other packaging or into the bowl. Okay. And then for the pink flowers, we're going to be doing the same thing. You don't need to see me fuss with this. So I'm going to pull out 2 for each eye. So I'm going to pull out a total of 4. Go ahead and do that. Please pause your video and then we'll start decorating our eye. Alright, so I changed my lighting, and hopefully my hands don't interrupt. I turned off one of my lights up here because it was creating such a big lighted spot, and I didn't know if this would interfere with the making of the video. So what we want to do is, with these kawaii eyes, we want to make it so that the two black centers are facing towards each other. So your work area is here on the outside. Now do note that when you put these on, one's going to be going one direction and one's going to be going in another direction. So let me show you how we're going to be putting these on. So for the right eye, can you see how this butterfly is upside down? Don't come back here, little guy. My little tiny star at the top wants to play games now. Okay. So can you see how we have a star at the bottom, a flower, a butterfly, a flower, a star, and that little tiny star will be at the top. This will all go and meet the curvature of this one, this right here. And now for this side, we want to do basically the same thing. So we're going to turn our little butterfly around. Okay, so can you see both of those? So this is how we're going to set them up on each eye. So what will make it easier, let's pull this one aside and make sure that your kawaii eye is aiming this way. Make it so that you have an even distance, and our butterfly is going to go right here across in the center. But before we start all that, because once I put the fingernail polish on it, I won't be able to touch it very well. So I'm going to go ahead and turn my light back on. You see how it gives that glare over here, so I'm sorry about that. So be very careful when using this stuff. I do need to, I made a mistake on one of my eyes. I put it away. I got fingernail polish on it. You can't use fingernail polish remover to remove the excess because it will damage your eye. So when you put this on here, put it on. Now this does dry quickly. We'll be putting a second coat on there. So the butterfly I like to put on first. Make sure it's going in the direction that you've aimed it. You know, like I said before, you turn the camera on and it just wants to do its own thing. Have you noticed that? Okay. So let's put our butterfly on here. Okay, can you see that? It's right there in the center. Let's move it down just a little. Okay, and then let's put our eye on. I mean our flower. And then our star. And then our tiny little star. This one's going on the top. Okay, can you see that? And then before this stuff dries, let's get the bottom stuff down. So this is what we have so far. Okay. And what we're going to do now is we're going to place another thin coat, making sure that this stuff does not run off the side of the eye. We do not want to get any fingernail polish anywhere else than on this back portion here. Whoops, and I accidentally moved that flower just a tiny bit. So, and with this extra coat, that will help the eye pieces to stay in place. And also, put your lid back on. We don't want to have any accidental falls. Okay, so here's the first one. These take probably about 5 minutes to dry. So let's do the second one. Now you can't have this aimed in this direction. You can, but what you'll have to do is, you notice how we're twisting it around? That means that you would have to bring your butterfly and face it towards you, and everything else will be going, whoops, in the opposite direction here. All right. So let's go ahead and place our fingernail polish, a thin coat. You don't want any running over the side. All right. So the first one to go on there is the butterfly. And then our flower. Hang on a second. All right, it's nice to know that family cares. It was my daughter. And let me see if this is still wet, that I can put this on here. So far, oops. Okay, so let me dab a little bit more on here. And then our little star. Come on, little star. Come on, there you go. Okay, and then we also want to turn it to make sure it looks right. Yep, looks good. All right, and let's put our second coat on here. And even while it's sitting here staring at us, we can see the little glitter of it. Okay, so here's one eye, and here's the other one. Now we're going to let those dry for about 5 minutes. So pause your video, stretch your legs, and think of what other things you might like to do, and then we shall be back. Alrighty, it's been about 5 minutes. So we're going to pull it out the glitter. This will be our backing color. Be sure to shake it. You'll probably hear a little ball shaking around on the inside, which is fine. That helps mix the fluids and the glitter around so nothing clumps at the bottom. So let's take our beautiful glitter and then start painting around. We're going to end up putting 2 coats of paint or fingernail polish on the backing of this, and I think you are going to be happy with this. It's such a pretty glitter color. Now you also want to cover the back of this on the kawaii eye side, because you want to make sure that the glitter covers the background to give it the effect and look that we're looking for. So take your time when going around, and you notice that I kind of tilt it up to kind of keep the paint from accidentally going over the sides unless in case I accidentally put too much on there. Okay, so let me show you what the first coat looks like. You see how it's just kind of thin, but this is what the other side looks like. I think it is so pretty. So go ahead and put a coat on your other eye. Wait about 5 minutes, then put a second coat on both eyes, and I will get back with you because I want to show you something. So my first little bonus that I would like to share with you is I bought these at the Dollar Tree. It's called LA Colors, and it's got this huge glitter in it. Now I've already painted some of these eyes. Okay, I haven't painted the backing color on it yet. I just painted these on. But I wanted to show you how to use this. Of course, there's a little bead in there, so you got to shake it up. And then, being that it's this huge glitter that you're going to need, you want to place this on here and dab, dab, dab. You want to dab where you want the glitter to go. Once you get this started, and there's more of these little dots in the brush itself, it comes out nicely. Now, I do 2 coats also of these dots because sometimes you just can't get enough to come out in the first coating or setting. And also you notice a lot of the clear nail polish that comes out with it too. If I was doing a large amount of this, I'd probably just take it all and just dump it into like one of those little paper cups. So if you like these little glitters and these little dots like I do, this was at the Dollar Tree. It was $1.25, I believe. And they have lots of colors to choose from. They got red and green and blue, but I like the multicolored dots because it makes it more versatile. So as you can tell, I'm sitting here dab, 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 and so once you get that first coat on, let it dry a few minutes and then come back in with a second coat. Now I also like to go over the black part. That way whatever color or whatever paint I stick on top of that, it will be adhered to the nail polish. Okay, and that's what that will look like at the beginning. So these guys are pretty much dry. You can see the nice little design that comes out of it. So now let me show you my second bonus. Oh, before I close, we'll go ahead and put some on this finished eye, this color on top, to show you that you don't have to have the acrylic paints. You can just use nail polish all the way. And you'll want to put like 2 coats of this on as well. Because remember, these are designed for fingers, and most of the time when a nail tech puts fingernail polish on anybody's fingers. It's always 2 coats. So just remember the 2 coat rule. So after the 1 coat, let me show you what it looks like. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Okay, so let me show you bonus number 2. So here's 25mm eyes that I've created. They're just a little bit smaller. Let me show you. Here's one that's not painted. Here's my 30mm, and here's the 25. So it's about 1/8 of an inch difference, but in the size on the side of the eye, there's more space to add the little sequins and stuff. But you see how the yarn comes up around the side of the eyes with the cup that'll go on the back of the safety eye. Alright, so I've gotten into making amigurumi things lately, and that's something that I'm really enjoying. This particular one is made with blanket yarn. Well, I hope that you enjoyed our little bonus using the Dollar Tree fingernail polish. And I really hope that you like this idea of adding these little decorative sequins to the inside of your eyes so that you can enjoy them on your amigurumi as well. So, thank you for joining with me today, and until next time, bye-bye.